And welcome back. It is Friday night, and we are here at the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and I'm here with my co-host Trigger. Trigger, how are we doing this week, my brother?
Good, man. Fuck, dude, I almost slept through this
Did you
show
really?
again. I was like, man, I was tired, man. I was so fucking sleepy.
It was one of those things, man. When we were in the ready room, I hit you up, and I'm like, hey, man, like I'm gonna go ahead and start getting the room ready. And then I got no response, and I was like, Trigger, are you there? Trigger, and nothing. I was gonna get it, so I was like, let me just give this guy a call. I call you, and I get no answer, and I'm getting like kind of like the sweats, bro. And I'm like, oh no, what happened to Trigger? And then like, yeah, dude, you jump right in the room, and you're like, you woke me up, dude. Thank God, man. I was so dead.
Dude, I was, man.
How's it going? So I remember you guys saying that you guys were moving from your office. So did you guys get it all situated and stuff?
For the most part, yeah. A lot of stuff like still kind of being moved around. You know, like work for the most part has kind of resumed business normal. But you know, it's just I'm just fucking sleepy, yo. And so, you know, still kind of driving around, still kind of like doing stuff, and just because like I'm sleeping and I'm just kind of trying to like readjust and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of just catching up a little bit. You know, it shouldn't take me too much longer to like actually adjust and then readjust to being
Of course.
actually business normal again. But I mean, it's all good, dude. I mean, it is what it is.
It's been a weird week, man. Me and the boys at the gym, we've been getting ready. I have 3 of my guys hopefully getting ready for an MMA promotion that will be coming down to the Valley in July.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
Hopefully I got 3 of them ready. That'd be really, really good if it ended up falling through and all of them got fights. So training hard. Be good. Shout out to, of course, our boy Xavier Wilson. He's on the undercard of the Canelo card. He's over there right now. He's weighed in, feeling good. Valley native, really up there, just representing. He's fighting a pretty tough card named a pretty tough dude named Christian Dunan out of Mexico. Kid's a knockout artist, but Xavier is quite the beast, bro. Quite the beast. He's Sun Wukong, and I'm excited for him. I messaged him earlier the week. We talked about the fights. We kind of put some ideas together. I was giving him my opinion on the guy because his opponent actually fought Angel Hernandez, which is one of our fighters out of our gym, like I want to say like 4 months ago, and he caught Angel, I want to say like in the 2nd or 3rd round pretty cleanly, man. So the kid got Angel. Angel's tough, man. Angel's probably one of the most durable, good, really strong fighters that I've seen. He's got a good Mexican spirit, like real like orgullo kind of guy, dude. Like never stops. And the dude's tough as nails, and he was able to drop him in the earlier rounds. So I know it's gonna be a tough fight. And I was telling X, man, I was like, dude, don't Goku up, bro. Don't test him out and let him hit you a couple times and just to see what he's got. He always does that, dude. And I'm like, don't do it this time, dude. Like, don't give him anything. Take from him everything and do not give him anything. What's up, D? What's up, Robert? How you guys doing? The fights are tomorrow. Yes, they are. Xavier Wilson's fight will be on DAZN, DAZN. You can actually watch it for free if you have the app. It's going to be live broadcasted for free. The other one is we have Carlos Diego Freya, which is an instructor, a mixed martial arts instructor out of Far, Texas. He'll be fighting on the UFC card this weekend also. So we got a lot of representation, a lot of great representation outside in the sports world. So shout outs to those guys. Break legs, do fucking awesome. And represent the Valley, man, in the fight that we got down here. But yeah, like I was saying, man, this week was the heat was coming in. That humidity was starting to touch. That vibe of not being able to breathe and it was getting it, man. It was getting it. Monday, I was dying. Thursday, I felt a lot better, but geez, man, my guys are killers, and they get me tired during the week, man. So other than that, it's been pretty normal. Catching up. I tried to watch. I know we talked about it last week, and it was interesting at first, but I couldn't get past it, man. We tried to watch. I tried to watch Yasuke. Yeah, Yasuke the Black Samurai one on Netflix, man, and I got to about the 3rd episode.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that it was a letdown, but it just didn't live up to the hype that a lot of people were giving it, or at least that Netflix was giving it. And
I think all that fantasy shit, like it was way too much.
Yeah.
Like I really kind of was like, when I saw there was for some reason when I was explaining it to you, like when I was messaging you guys, you and Robert, because we're in the group chat, the first thing I said, dude, it's got mechs in it. And I just didn't know how to explain that in the sense of like a timepiece of a samurai thing and be like, yo, bro, there's mechs. Like I would understand. We talked about that too, where it was like, if there's dudes with like metal arms or men with the iron fist kind of stuff, where like there's like that kind of over the top martial artsy look. But there was like just a straight up robot that had like a company logo on its chest and shooting laser beams and all this other shit. And in my mind, I'm kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And then all of a sudden, they have a big woman, a Russian woman, right? She just fucking changes into a giant bear. Like, not even fuck kidding, just like boom, just straight up bear. And yeah, I when that happened, I was really like, this just really got turned like 180 degrees in the opposite direction. I'm really not gonna understand this, am I? Like, I kind of questioned myself if I was really gonna understand it. And but it's really weird because if it didn't have the mech, I wouldn't have been so overwhelmed by the chick turning into a werewolf or a werebear. My bad, werebear. That's an even sillier word.
Sounds like Chris Jaden, dude.
Dude, I'm telling you, look, even Robert in the comments put, bro, I couldn't stop laughing at the breastfeeding Russian bear woman. And it's one of those things like, okay, cool, like, but I think it was because of the overall silliness of it. I think it just got super crazy. Kyle jumps in. Here's Kyle. What's up, Kyle? Hope you're doing good, bud.
I mean, it's exactly like what Kyle says. Like, it's one thing to be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm gonna give like a cool little spin on like a true story, but like, bro, this is a representation about like a fucking actual person. There's no need to add any of this.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think man, dude, I mean, films have come so far where, I mean, dude, for fuck's sakes, like last week,
but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
The Falcon stepped up and became Captain America. Better than the way the comic book explained it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And here we are watching Netflix, like almost like disappoint the story of one of the most declarated original historical African American or literally African characters in history.
Mm-hmm.
That literally there's documentation to show that it was true, you know, was respected by probably one of the most ferocious emperors of Japan, Oda Nobunaga. Oda Nobunaga, such a tongue twister. It was all on the fascination of his skin color.
Or was he a shogun? I mean, not that it matters.
He was a shogun. He was shogun. Yeah, he was an emperor. But man, the guy literally was one of like the four major Japanese people that unified Japan.
Yeah, I was about to be like, well, I mean, he was like the great unifier of Japan.
Dude, even to this day, Oda Nobunaga is probably one of the most used characters in video games. That's like a fucking conqueror of everything. He's always like the one that's like, he's demon possessed or creates demons with his blood. He's literally like the what was that guy's name? Vlad Tempest?
Oh, Dracula?
Yeah, Dracula. He was literally like Vlad the Impaler. Like he was literally that in Japan, but of course not as shunned upon as Vlad was, but in that sense, that legend of his character is there. And Yasuke was a person that was chosen by him to accompany him and be his friend and do the whole Last Samurai thing where he's like, I just want to have a good conversation. You know what I mean? Like, and they could have done so much with this, man. And like I said before, they chose a really great actor to voice him that could have done him in real life. But I guess maybe it was the money, dude. Maybe it was that they didn't have enough money to really get behind it, and they had to do it as an animation to make it cheaper. But I think it was a really big miss out. Of course, Robert put this up, and IGN and Tomatoes has given it great reviews. And of course, IGN, if you do need help, seeing what's really good and what's not, hit us up, bro. We'll help you out. We told you we would help you out the last time when you said Captain Falcon ended stupid and you didn't like it and stuff. Remember, we said we would help you guys. IGN, hit us up, man, if you need help. Yeah. And Kyle then says Netflix has a documentary on Oda Nobunaga 2 right now.
Oh yeah,
but is it more of a
really good?
Oh, no, but it's a real historical documentary.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, this isn't like an anime that has like dick, like serpents and Russian bears who turn into moths or anything.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, like I said, I only got to the 3rd episode. And the reason why it started getting, I think there's like 8 episodes overall. Fuck, I don't even know how many episodes, but like it just got a little over the top. And that's because, I mean, fuck, dude, like coming off of like Invincible and like coming off all this other, that shit's like super over the top, but it understands itself as a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was also already part of the literature, It's one thing to give like a creative spin on like over the top literature that like has already been established. It's another thing to go off the rails, with something and just completely Afro Samurai this thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, dude, look at fucking Afro Samurai.
I still think Afro Samurai is probably a better telling of Yasuke than the Yasuke Netflix
is, dude. I mean, you have a guy who like basically has the fucking slingshot thingies, like they do in Attack on Titan, and you have mechs and clones and gunslingers who survive for hundreds of years somehow, and
the ragtag team that they send after the characters in the thing they're very weird. I will continue to watch the rest of the anime to get to the ending of it, so that way I'm not too biased. Right now, I'm in episode 3, like I said, and it's really not doing it for me, but I'm gonna muscle through, man. For the boys and the girls, the average boys and girls, I'm gonna push for you guys, so you don't have to watch it for yourselves. But
I mean, Jupiter's Legacy also dropped today.
Oh yeah, you wanted to talk about that, right?
Yeah, man.
Jupiter's Legacy. We'll talk about that a little bit later. I haven't had the opportunity to see it, but you're gonna have to catch me up on it.
Gladly,
let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Straight up easy question for you, bro. This goes out to Robert because I know Robert. Robert's all over this stuff when it comes time. What did you think of the meetup between Mayweather and the Paul brothers?
Oh, dude, that's so like I get it, like everyone's like, oh man, the Paul brothers are this, the Paul brothers are that. And so I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna be super fucking chismoso. And so I went on to Jake Paul's Instagram, and dude, this guy just straight flames Mayweather. Like, bro, he's a broke bitch. Like, he's got some dirty Air Force Ones. Look at my stunner ass brother coming in on a helicopter and shit. That's some stunner shit. And I'm like, bro, you don't own the fucking helicopter. You rented that shit. Secondly, your brother's a bitch, dude. Like, your brother's net worth is like a quarter of what fucking Mayweather's worth is. Chill.
It was a man, dude. I keep telling people, like,
I was like, secondly, Mayweather owns like 2 properties in where you fight.
For the moment that those guys put something together, you look at Ben Askren's fight in Jake Paul, right? For a moment, the MMA community looked bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't understand why it would look bad, because you don't see MMA fighters calling out basketball players.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you don't see MMA fighters calling out ex-hockey people. You don't see them doing anything like that. MMA fighters call out.
You don't even see them
MMA fighters.
Cultures. Like, you don't even see these guys calling service members. People who have been in combat, people who have actually killed people. Who've actually like fought for their lives and stuff like that. It's different when you see a service member who gets into MMA, like Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, like becomes a student, learns, and does that stuff,
goes into
and
it,
then becomes a fighter.
Yeah, who's respected in not just the military community, but the MMA community.
Like then you look at
both.
boxing for what it's worth, right? Like boxing as a sport was losing money to the MMA, to the UFC in Vegas for a very long time.
Oh yeah.
It was taking over it for a very, very long time.
I mean, dude, yeah. I mean, for sure, the UFC and Bellator have been a lot more prevalent in the West Coast, you know, and the West Coast and just like the western part of, you know, America as of late, because I mean, what the Canelo and Triple G fight, I think, is probably like one of the more, you know, highly anticipated. Sorry, at the time was probably one of the more highly anticipated fights, other than the Pacquiao and Mayweather fights in the past decade.
Now it's really crazy because, like, you look at boxing as a sport, and it's been losing a lot of traction over the years. And this goes off of the idea. Simply, I could just say this: how many boxers do you know off the top of your head, being a casual watcher of the sport, compared to how many MMA fighters you know off the top of your head watching as a casual sport? Like, there's a lot more household names in the MMA community as a sports when it comes to watching than boxing. I mean, you look at football, you look at, you know, American football, you look at basketball, you look at even soccer. Sometimes you'll know more names consistent than you would boxers by name. Of course, you're going to know Canelo. Of course, you're going to know Mayweather. And then from there, it goes to, of course, Lomachenko. Of course, Josh Kelly. And then, of course, Tank and all these other guys. The Figueroa brothers, because they're from our area. But then again, then from there, what does it go? Then again, how many other names of boxers you know after that? Where in the MMA community, I mean, everyone knows Conor McGregor. Everyone knows Dan Henderson.
That also kind of like, oh man, you know, like I want to, I'm going to agree with you, but only up to a point. Only up to a point. And the reason that I say that is because I'm going to say that I am a casual boxing watcher. I really, really do have to. I'm not going to say that like, bro, when a pay-per-view comes out, I have to have it. You know, I'm not as average as I think that I am, I'm sure, because like I actually do know boxers' names. And this is just because of my dad, you know, being exactly who he is. You know, my dad being very, very, very popular in the local boxing community. But you know, there was a time where boxing had a lot more marketing than the UFC did.
Yeah.
Then the UFC noticed, well, why is boxing so popular? Well, because it markets way better. Like these guys are marketing the fight, you know, 9 months in advance, minimum. And then their rematches are marketed almost right after the bell rings. You know, I mean, we had how many Mayweather Pacquiao rematches? What, 2?
3?
Yeah.
Did they do a triple? No, did they do a triple?
I want to say they did.
Yeah, I want to say they did a triple.
But that kind of just goes into like what I mean. You know, like there's only very, very few fights, and they're always title fights that you get the big attention for. Conor McGregor's, you know, like bigger fights weren't always title fights. They were just, you know, fights. You know, and so in boxing, that's kind of like where you know they're losing out. Like unless the dude is trying to defend a title or gain a title, no one cares.
Yeah,
you know, and it is what it is, dude. You know, like the combat sports world is gonna have to evolve. It did with MMA. It did, you know, with the UFC and stuff like that. And you know, you and I talked about this last week. You know, it's just the natural evolution of like cinema, natural evolution of people. You know, they just like the brutality. You know,
it keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah, and you know, it is what it is. Some people think that, you know, boxing is very boring. Sometimes I can agree, sometimes I can't. Some people think that MMA is very boring. Sometimes I can agree, sometimes I can't. Because, you know, of course, you know, you get two guys who've been grappling for fucking 3 rounds and just playing dick touch for, you know, 3 rounds. Yeah, dude, it's a little bit boring. I get it. Both of you guys are trying to sub each other. I didn't fucking pay $50 for a pay-per-view for 2 guys to play grab ass.
Yeah, you want excitement. You want to see. There has to be a thrill to it, right?
And I want to see the shit get kicked out of somebody sometimes.
And
No,
you
it
see,
is.
like that part. That's why I think these like these fights that Thriller's hosting with the Jake Paul brothers or whatever. Like that's why I feel that people watch him is because it's gonna be gritty. Because it's
Well,
got
for
you have
me,
these two
not just
guys
that,
who.
dude, but people are just wanting to watch Jake Paul get the fuck kicked out of
Oh yeah.
get the
But
fuck
even like with the
out of him.
previous fights, all the fights, you look at them and you're kind of like, dude, it's gonna be chingazos.
You'd hope
Because
so, yeah.
it's just randoms. It's not people going out there and trying to like, oh, I'm gonna drag them into deep waters and beat them in the 10th round, or there's
Yeah.
not like a strategy. They're just like, dude, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna win. I need to go out there, I need to punch him, and I need to win. So
Right?
everybody's just
I mean,
slugging it
like,
out.
yeah, I mean, you didn't hear anything with strategy when it
Mhm.
came to like, because I watched all of those press conferences with Jake Paul.
Mhm.
Not once did he say what he was going to go out there and do. Not once. So he was like, you know what, man, I'm going to take him, for 2 rounds. I'm going to see what he's about, and then I'm going to keep the press on. I'm going to keep the pressure on. I'm going to see, where he lands. And, last 2 rounds, I'm going to give
See
it
where it
to him.
goes from there. Or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him. I'm gonna keep the pace, and I'm gonna see who can last longer. Nothing like that, dude. Nothing. It was like, I'm gonna get in there. I'm gonna do what I do, and you all are gonna see that I'm a real fighter.
That I'm good. Yeah, and you're like, what does that mean? You're like, what the fuck does that mean? But it's like crazy, dude, because
I take a fight seriously. I'm a real fighter. I mean, dude, I've been in a lot of bar fights. And does that make me a real fighter? I took every one of those fights seriously. I got my ass handed to me in a few of them.
like it's one of those things like even with the situation at hand, right? Like Jake Paul took all the piss out of Logan Paul's like opportunity.
Oh, 100%.
Like that was
100%.
fucking gotcha, man. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, like it was just one of those things. Like I think right now I believe that the idea that's gonna happen soon is the younger brother's gonna get himself into trouble. Like in real trouble. Like he's gonna get himself into real trouble. Because you could see it at the fight too, where like Logan Paul, he carries himself more like a professional athlete.
He tries to.
Yeah, he tries to.
I can definitely give Logan the benefit of, you know what, bro? I came out here to fight. I came out here and like I had a discussion with Floyd Mayweather.
Mhm.
I told him that, I'm the face of boxing right now and I'm where it's going. And Floyd Mayweather had a problem with that. Now we're gonna square up. Jake Paul, on the other hand, was like, "What's up, pussy? Let's go for two."
Yeah, got your hat.
someday."
Like, oh my god,
Got
man! When he
your
said I got your
And
hat, I was like,
bro, and yeah, and just like Robert said, bro, and then he got a fucking got your hat tattoo later on that night.
mhm.
Like,
It's because,
bro,
like, I
come the
mean,
fuck on. What a
I think
bitch.
there's a little bit of more excitement for people to see Logan fight Mayweather more than Jake fight Mayweather. The reason why is because we see Jake for what he is, and he's just a little piece of shit kid. But Logan, you could tell like there's a part of him that is trying to take it more serious, right? I guarantee he probably pissed off at his brother after that whole entire thing because he literally took all the attention away from that standoff.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. There's absolutely no way that I'm gonna give my money to that fucking promotion. No.
Oh no, yeah, dude, I'm not gonna watch that shit. No.
I'll tell you this right now. I'm gonna say it on the internet. I will illegally find it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna find it.
I wouldn't even recommend it for people to be like to be shown. Like I wouldn't even recommend people to buy that thing because it's not worth the money. All you're doing is giving money to two people who are literally making a joke of a sport that people blood, sweat, and tear that shit for.
The people died over.
Yeah. And these guys are just making it in the entertainment value's there. And of course, the kids
like
that grew up.
I said yesterday, dude, and like I was telling you and Robert, especially in the chat that we have, for all of Floyd Mayweather's faults, he is a fighter. That guy is a real fighter. This dude has been in it for like 20 years. And he has made his fucking mark on the sport because he respects it as that, as it a sport. It is a combat sport. After a while, he started finding out the entertainment value where he was like, you know what, dude? I mean, people really like to see me fucking either try and lose or beat the fuck out of somebody, and it's entertaining for them, I'm just gonna make money off of it. I know how good I am. It's kind of like what you were saying, the other time. Like, hey man, he has his strategy. Sometimes it's bait him out. Sometimes it's press him a little bit harder. But it's very disrespectful that like we get these two YouTubers who come out of fucking nowhere and are just like, man, hey, your sport is a way for me to make money because it's only an entertainment. This is a performance.
Yeah.
And nothing more.
Because it's one of those things like what happens when they get tired of it?
Exactly. They're just going to drop it. And then they're like, oh, bro, I'm back to Team 10. I'm back to doing Disney shit. No, dude, fuck you.
Yeah. What do they do after it? See, and Kyle brings up a really, really good point because I was going to get into this next.
Yeah.
Dude, fighters used to be all about the fight, and now it's about the limelight and the clout. And I kind of feel like that is coming off of a lot of fighters riding coattails on McGregor's success.
And yeah.
And you see, and the thing is Mayweather, Conor McGregor learned a lot of his like talking from Mayweather when his younger
learned from Ali.
From Ali. It is a skill that you either have it or you don't. And the crazy thing is, like in the MMA world, like a lot of the times the guys that act that way are that way, like in public. So like you look at like the Diaz brothers. Like, dude, I was 100%, and I tell people all the time still, I was 100% surprised that Nate or Nick didn't jump the Paul brothers at the UFC fight like 2 weeks ago. Oh, like, and I'm not talking about like the way DC did. I'm talking about like the way that they jumped like Renato Laranja, who's an actor who like pokes fun at guys because it's comedy. And the Diaz brothers jumped that dude at a fucking convention.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, they jumped that dude hard at a convention. And that's because everyone knows that Renato Laranja is an actor. Well, he's a black belt in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, but he's a funny guy, and he portrays a character, which is his Renato character, and he goes and harasses fighters, and he harasses females and hates kids, and like it's a funny fucking character to watch. Fucking funny character. But when they were like at a sports convention, dude, and he's walking around in a gi, and he's wearing like hey everybody, how you doing? It's me, Renato, Uncle Renato. And Diaz walks up and slaps his hat off and pushes him, and he's like, "What's up, bitch?" Like, because he had mentioned him in one of his comedy skits. But the Diaz brothers don't joke around like that. They don't joke around like that. And I keep saying, like, right now, earlier in the year, or earlier, like after the Ben Askren fight, I think Jake Paul was like, yo, I would take Diaz out in the second or in the third. And I was like, dude, this guy fucked up, man. He fucked up. He said something about Diaz. Diaz is going to jump this dude so fast in the parking lot at Walmart. Like 100%.
Dude.
But now he's fucked up even more because he's fucking... He's playing childish games with Mayweather.
Yeah.
And Mayweather is... That kid, like, even though for what he is right now, he's a street dude, man. He's a street dude. When he was saying, like, I'll fucking kill you, there's 100% chance that this motherfucker is going to get his hands on him, like, before the fight at the next weigh-in or the next face-off, and Mayweather's going to pop him so fast, he's going to hit him with a three-piece that it ain't going to be funny, man.
Dude, honestly, and that's what I'm thinking. I'm straight thinking that Mayweather's like, bro, I came in here, and I was going to fuck with you guys for a little bit, and then I was gonna put you.
Yeah, he's just gonna talk shit or joke around. Dude,
kind of like what you said. I'm just gonna give you a boxing clinic for 3 rounds, and then I'll beat you on points. Cool, whatever. Now I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna fuck you up.
No. Well, I think now he's gonna take the fight very serious. Which, of course, like I said before, it's still a dangerous fight. Logan Paul outweighs Mayweather by 30 pounds almost.
like 40 pounds.
Yeah, 30, 40 pounds. I think the fight is Logan Paul is going to be 190 and Mayweather's weighing in at 160. So it's gonna be so that's even a heavier Mayweather.
Yeah.
But the thing is Mayweather's super famous for being close to his weight, his fight weight. And he just stays that way all the time. So I think he's comfortable.
Well, yeah, I mean he walks around at like 155. Yeah. So I think,
but what I'm talking about is like the next time Logan Paul and Jake Paul and Mayweather meet, I just have a feeling Mayweather's gonna throw rounds at Jake Paul. He's gonna try to hit. He's gonna try to pop him off. I know it. I just know it.
Oh yeah,
Because like
100%.
acting like the money flaunting thing that got done already with Connor, where both of them came out. They wore suits. They threw cash in the air. They joked around at each other. They sat there. They made fun of each other. But if there's one thing that anybody knows on the streets is you never touch another man's fashion, man. You never touch another man's radio. You never scuff another man's shoes. And you never touch another man's hat. That's probably like one of the most hated things in the world. Because like when someone like tips your hat off your head, because you put it there and it feels good. When someone touches it, it feels bad.
I can kind of like agree with you up to like a point. For me, it's like, bro, don't touch my clothes, don't touch my car, don't touch my money, and don't touch my lady.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
You fucking do whatever you want, bro.
Yeah.
If you fuck with any of those, I'm gonna kill you.
Yep.
I'm gonna hit you.
I really think
because I mean, dude, you know, like you know, like how many times has like someone ever tried to pop off and be like, grab your collar and just pop your collar?
Yeah, that's
like,
enough. That's already enough. Like
bro,
it's enough. Like when someone like just touches you in some weird way, like that's enough already.
Cool, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
They give permission once it's past the comfort zone.
Well, not just that, dude, but the fact that you've already put your hand on me, aggressor or not. Cool, man.
So, I mean, I think the entertainment value for what it's going to be worth, the lead up to the fight is probably going to be fantastic.
Yeah, man.
I think it's going to be fantastic. The Paul brothers already are really, really self promoting when it comes to being trolls.
Yeah.
But Mayweather, he talks good. He could sell the fuck out of a fight.
Oh yeah.
But I just think that the comedy that the Paul brothers use, it's not gonna fly well with Mayweather.
Well, yeah, dude, because now he's like it's an actual fighter. He's a real fighter.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like where they can go around and do shit like this.
Paul's immediate thing was like, well, you said fight a real fighter, and I fought a real fighter. I fought Ben Askren. No, dude, you fought a grappler.
No, and well, not only that, they fought a Ben Askren that was 6 months out of hip surgery.
Yeah, and
yeah, they fought a dude who just got out of surgery, was super out of shape,
and had been retired.
Retired, man. Yeah, so it's one of those things like it wasn't a good call, man.
Have you ever seen was it The Fighter or Fighting with Mark Wahlberg?
I think so. I want to say there was one of them that had that dancing guy in it.
Oh, you're talking about Channing Tatum.
Tatum.
That's The Fighter. I'm talking about Fighting. This is the one with Mark Wahlberg and Christian Bale. It's the story about Mickey Ward and the guy who gets his hand broken and he goes on to winning the world champion against Antonio Gotti. Oh, anyway, you know, like the first fight that you see Mark Wahlberg in, he was like, bro, this guy's been on the couch for like a year. And, you know, you see him and he's fucking jacked, dude, 20 pounds over and shit like that. He's like, what fucking couch does this guy have, dude? I'm buying a couch like that.
That's funny.
You know, beats the fuck out of him, dude. You know, but it is what it is, man. You know, I think we've given a little bit too much time to the Paul brothers and stuff like that. June 6th, they're gonna learn what it is to fight a real fighter.
Yeah, definitely. And for what it's worth, those that are out there that are probably going to check it out, and I know there's people out there that are going to watch it. It's going to be an exhibition match.
Yeah.
So literally, it's going to be the easiest $100 million that Mayweather ever makes, because he'll probably make $100 million. So, and that's going to probably be a lot easier than the kickboxer he fought in Japan. So, yeah. Well, onward to the next thing, Triggs. Did you hear they hurt the Nerd King?
They went after my boy, dude.
Yep, DC hurt our Nerd King.
They went after the Cavill, bro. They went after the Specimen. They went after the Pretty Boy. You don't do that. You don't hurt Henry Cavill.
Yeah, so if you have not heard, there is a little turmoil in the comic book world right now in the DC universe.
That man can do no wrong.
Yeah. What happened was the other day, It just so happened to be our favorite, our everyone's man crush, Henry Cavill, the Nerd King. And the reason why he's called the Nerd King is because this man is literally our king of nerds. And I don't call him a nerd himself. He is our king of nerds.
Yes.
And the reason why is this man builds PCs. He plays Dungeons and Dragons. He plays World of Warcraft. He almost missed his audition for Superman because he was raiding in World of Warcraft.
Fun fact on that, him and his guild got world first on that raid.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what an interesting fellow.
Yeah,
what an interesting fellow.
The reason, yes, it was the phone call that he was going to be Superman, or that he was going to be able to audition for Superman. And yes, his guild won world first on that raid. So that alone is a very, very big feat.
So what's very impressive about
Henry Cavill,
what's his fucking Henry Cavill, is that he's, deep down inside, he has his nerd roots, but he is in such a specimen of a body shape and has such a work ethic that he gets the opportunity to play a lot of these major roles. And it just so happens that he's landed one of the best roles, in my opinion, that he plays so well and respects the role, which was Superman. Superman is going to be the thing that I will die on that rock, knowing that he continued, him and Brandon Roth both continued Christopher Reeve's legacy very well.
I agree.
Brandon Roth did very well. I think he kind of was given the opportunity better in the Flash series during the crossover, where the film was very lackluster written. But I think Henry Cavill embodies like the Clark Kent Superman very well. Like when he's not in the suit, like that's what I imagine Superman would really be like. Like he's just got a great heart. You can tell this man's got a good heart. His Superman is great, powerful, OP as fuck, but they write him too dark and he kind of doesn't portray that Superman, but it's not his fault.
No, it's not. But, he does portray the gritty very well.
Yeah.
And I say that because,
acting wise, he's got it.
Yeah. And I say that because, for anyone who's ever watched The Witcher,
oof,
he's fantastic.
He's fucking awesome in The Witcher.
And I can tell that this guy gives a fuck about the roles that he's in, because I love The Witcher. Love The Witcher. I mean, I've got 3 copies of it in these 2 shelves right here. 3 copies. When he finished rapping for season 2 of The Witcher, he celebrated and thanked
with the cast, right? Everybody,
the entire crew.
Yeah, the entire crew.
And he was like, obviously this can't be done without you. Like it's one thing for me to portray all this. It's another thing for you all to make me look good while I do this.
Yeah.
He gives credit where credit is due. And you know what? That's a beautiful thing, man. That's something that you'd see Superman do.
And Triggs will probably say this with me, but here on The Average Boy, we love Henry Cavill.
Oh yeah.
And we hope maybe one of these days, God willing, he graces us with his presence on the show as a guest one day. That'd be amazing for me. But the reason why we're talking about this is because DC has made an announcement, and we've talked about this before, but they made an announcement this time that's going in a direction we didn't think they would go because it wouldn't make any sense, but
still doesn't. But what do
they have decided to come through on creating a story for a Black Superman, which we all know, Val Zod. But they ended up making an announcement on the birthday of Henry Cavill that the Superman is going to be replaced now by, of course, they're going to create a Black Superman, but he will now be Clark Kent. So Clark Kent will now be a black man in the comic, not in the comics, but in the film that'll be coming out. Are we against the idea of them creating a Black Superman? No. But I think I've I think I've had it with DC and Marvel too. When it comes to having these white executives let races borrow the name of their characters because they think they're doing them a favor. I'm tired of it, dude. You know what? Like I praised how well they did the Falcon, right? The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Great show. Comic book literally was almost about every other comic, which is a black man fighting racism. Which is, for once, I would like to see a black man fight a dragon, fight a supervillain, fight someone else that's not just hating him because of the color of his skin, but respects him as a human being and is fighting him because they are bad and he is the hope. But I don't want them to call him what used to be and his legacy as a white man. Like I'm tired of it. I understand right now. I know what they're doing in Marvel. I see it. Everything literally after Captain Falcon got changed, where Marvel then propagandally changed everything Captain America to Falcon, Sam Wilson. Everything. Right now, if you look for Captain America, Falcon's name is the Wikipedia. And the reason why they're doing it is because anyone that's youth right now will now grow up having a black Captain America. But that's white people doing them a favor. That's them being lazy, taking away from black comic book history and erasing the name of the Falcon, who is one of the first black superheroes. Like, man, dude, it's really disappointing now to see them do this, because the only reason why I think Warner Brothers, I'm not going to say DC's doing this. I'm going to say Warner Brothers is doing this. The reason why I think they're doing this is because of the success from the Falcon show. The entire world talked about that. The entire world was like, whoa, dude, look, we have a black Captain America. No, we have the Falcon, who is reprising the role for an absentee Steve Rogers. And since that world needs someone to rally behind, they've created a story that says, we have it. We've changed the old sidekick to Captain America into the new one. And now let's give the black Captain America a Mexican sidekick. So does that mean later on when Sam gives it up, he's going to give it to the Mexican kid and we're going to have a Mexican Captain America? No, because right now the comic book is already doing that. Right now they're doing the 80th anniversary, and it is Sam Wilson that's in the comic. It is Winter Soldier. It is U.S. Agent. And I think Sharon Carter's in there somewhere too. And they're going around the world. And I think like the shield's missing or something's going on, but they're going around and doing adventures. And they're finding out that there are people in communities that take up the mantle of Captain America because he inspires them to fight back. Right? They did it a couple of weeks ago with an LGBT community member. Right, where they made him they gave him overalls, a trash can lid for a shield, and all this stuff. And the following week, it was a black woman. I don't know if she was LGBT also. I want to say maybe. But yeah, they gave it to a black woman next. But I don't know if these people have some type of power or if they're just using the inspiration and the symbol that the Captain America suit uses. Because right now, this past week, they brought in a new character named Joe Gomez, and he's a Native American from the what was it?
No, Joe Gomez is the guy who drew him.
No, that's the character.
No, it was the artist.
You're gonna have to look that up. That might be the actual dude. If I'm not mistaken, that's the name of the character.
Negative. That was the artist.
I know that he's from the, what's his name?
Kickapoo tribe.
What was the tribe that he came from?
Kickapoo.
Kickapoo tribe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it says meet Joe Gomez, the Captain America of the Kickapoo tribe.
Oh, I can't believe they gave him a Mexican name. That's
Oh
my God. They just
okay, so don't get me wrong, Kyle, my dude here. I know it. I dug the look of the Native American Captain America. I did too. I think it looks cool, but for what it's worth, I don't think a Native American would don the colors of America.
Okay, I read that wrong. So it was by David Cutler, but I just read it wrong. I mixed the two of them together.
I don't think he would take the colors, even though I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of Native Americans who do get into service with the United States, and they do join like the different branches of the military. There are a lot of Native Americans who get into it, but I don't. How with the history of the United States and what it's done to the Native American culture in so many years, why would they think using Captain America would be the inspiration for this guy? Yeah, the design is cool as fuck. Like I totally get it. But for what the United States has done to Native Americans, like why would Marvel think this is a great idea? Like I'm not gonna lie, you know, and I don't speak for everybody, but me personally, I have my, of course, Native American background, Chihananita tribe, which is off of the Apache tribe.
Got some Asian in you.
I am kind of disappointed with this, man. I'm really disappointed in Marvel for this.
I get it, you know, and kind of like how I had told you, was it yesterday? You know, man, and I know this is the cynic in me. I know it is, and I'm not gonna disguise it as anything else, dude. You know, it's kind of just one of those where it's like, man, you know, like in certain situations, you kind of just gotta take what you can get, you know, and it's super shitty that I have to even think that way, because it's true, dude. You know, like you look at cinema, you look at what the heck. Yeah, you look at cinema, you look at other things, man, and you know it's hard knowing that like that the Native American aspect of America has been completely overlooked, completely underappreciated, and you know, it's just it's not properly represented in, you know, current media, even though we're on the land of theirs. You know, just anyone can try and make the argument, well, this, that, and the other, and you know, righteousness this and self-righteousness that, soapbox. But you know, there needs to be a lot more, or should be a lot more, Native American representation in common media. And the fact that we haven't given them that is, you know, is it's a travesty at times. You know, it's super shitty, super shitty. And I get it. You know,
like it's just one of those things. Like, look, like Kyle makes a really good point. Like when I saw this, I was really like, whoa, this is so cool for a minute.
Yeah.
For a hot minute, I was like, because I remember an artist a long time ago, and I had it on my phone, dude. An artist a long time ago had drawn a Native American in the blue and red colors, and said the real Captain America. And he drew him in war garb from like one of the Apache tribes.
Bet.
And I thought it was an amazing picture, but it wasn't in him putting the A and the stars and all of that stuff. They could have literally introduced a whole new Native fucking American character, and every one of these people that's being put in these comics, they could have given them their own costume, their own identity, and created characters that people can fall in love with, and brandish them an armband that the way people do when a police officer passes away, or something, or a pin that's like the star, the shield. Like they could have done something. They didn't have to give them the whole fucking costume and be like, that's Captain America, but he's brown. That's Captain America, but he's black. That's Captain America, but no, dude, that's them giving us permission to use their white costume. Like that's all I see it now. Like that's all I fucking see it. and it's like they're doing it off of the dude, look at what they just did to Henry Cavill. Like Henry DC Warner Brothers literally just did this because they saw how it worked for the Marvel community, for Disney. Warner Brothers was like, "Oh shit, well they made Captain America black. You know what we should do? Let's make Superman black because he is our Captain America." That's the same shit they did with Suicide Squad with James Gunn. Like they just throw stupid shit at it. They throw stupid shit at it. I don't know, like it's sad because this is on the tales of the 80th anniversary for Captain America Steve Rogers. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know how I could fucking lie about it. I'm Hispanic. I'm a minority. Trigger, you're a minority, aren't you?
Damn, I am a minority.
And you know what? I love Steve Rogers, Captain America. I wanted to be him even though I wasn't white. Like, and I didn't want to be white. You know what I mean? I wanted to be Captain America, but I didn't think I had to be white. Like, that's not the point of this. The point isn't to race change him. Like, I love his beliefs. Like, you know what I mean? I like the character they drew. Would I ever want to wear a captain? If I had the same powers as Captain America, stars and stripes and shit like that, would I want to do that? Fuck no. I'd want to be my own dude. If I had the same powers, I would still want to be my own character. Like, wouldn't you? Like, if you had Captain America's powers and you were in the Marvel universe, would you want to wear Captain America's shield in stars and stripes? Or would you want to be your own person?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, I would. I think riding on the coattails of another person, you know, I think is cheap. It's another thing, you know, to embody the same ideals and be like, you know what, like I get why said person does said things because they view things the same way, and I am going to emulate that exact same behavior. But I'm not going to do it as Captain America. I'm not going to do it as Captain Mexico or Captain Hispanic or Captain RGV or anything like that.
No, I'm going to do something on my own. I'll call myself something else.
Carbon.
Yeah, I love that. Don't even start with me, boy. I love that story. This year, man, I'm going to push on that story this year so hard, dude.
You should, man.
I'm going to push on that story.
I'll feed you some stuff. I'll just pick at your brain.
Yeah, man. I'm so like, you know what? And Kyle brings up a really, really great point also. He brings up the fact that, you know, there's already Native American legacy characters with such a great fan appreciation. You have Warpath, and of course, don't forget Forge from the X-Men also. But Warpath,
you know, Nightwolf and
Nightwolf from Mortal Kombat. There's a lot of Native American representation in, I mean, not a lot, but there's
proper representation.
Dude, Warpath on him by himself
is a gangster.
Is a fucking gangster, dude. He is so beautifully represented as a Native American, and the writing for his thing is so great. Like, his power sets are so good.
Dude, the chick from the New Mutants, she's also Native American.
A Native American character.
Danielle Moonstar.
The main character, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, there are like, okay, so like with this story, like they bring in this character that's a Kickapoo tribal member. They literally could have brought in, because right now Warpath is not being talked about in the comic books, not in a while. Like, there's nothing going on with it.
Yeah, nothing prominent.
Because X-Force, with all the shit that's going on with the mutants,
but nothing was like, oh, he's a fighter representing, you know, in Swords of X.
But it's really because I think it's because of the fact that they're still really pushing on the X-Men Island. What is it called? Krakoa.
Oh, Krakoa.
And all that stuff that they're doing. So like the prominent X-Men are the ones that are, you know, in the limelight most of the time. And of course, Forge was there for a good minute in the very beginning when they were getting things like set up and stuff. But Warpath hasn't been. Like this literally could have been a great story of them being like Warpath joined an area where they're defending a pipeline like the way that they did here in the with the pipeline that was going on against the government. But like Warpath stepped up and he was representing and but he wasn't wearing his traditional Warpath, Warpath costume. He was wearing something else. But a lot of people could say like that his values reminded them of the old Captain America. But him be wearing like his tribal colors or the ceremonial colors that their people wear. Mm-hmm. Not literally red, white, and blue, the country that fucking sent their fucking people to reservations and destroyed their country. Like, man, dude, I don't know. There's just there's so much disrespect in it. Even though it's supposed to be done in nature of like, hey, but it's Captain America though, man. It's Captain America. Everybody loves Captain America though. It's okay if he does it. I'm not having it anymore, dude. Like I'm not for this race swapping shit that they're doing in the comics. Like I'm almost done with the whole idea of buying comic books. Like, because of it. It's just gotten way out of hand. I'll tell you what. Marvel, why don't you go off and have Namor conquer Wakanda and become the new king?
Bet you won't.
Yeah, I bet you won't. $100. I bet $100 they won't ever write that shit.
They've tried.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it because they're actually the only two kingdoms in the world. But I bet you that they won't have that shit. I bet you they will never try that shit from now on. But we know the reason why is because they will not do that to minority characters. They will only give us characters that are already established. Hence, like, I mean, you know what? I take that back because they're really pushing on building Kamala Khan. But they gave her the Captain Marvel name. They did not give her an original name based on her culture.
Yeah.
Which is sad as fuck. Because she has nothing to do with power-wise with those two characters. You can look at Miss Marvel in the sense of it being Captain Marvel or Jean Grey Miss Marvel. And none of those characters fucking stretch. Like none of them. There's no reason. She was just like, hey, I'm a big fan of her, so I'm going to call myself her name. Like, and I mean, dude, that's because, like, why are people so excited about the fucking Kamala Khan film? Like, I get the idea that having a character from that culture is really cool.
I think it's just the fact that, like, it's a lot
just the representation.
Well, not just the representation, dude. Of a character from the Middle East.
I think that's cool.
Reprising a role of a very, very prominent female powerhouse in the Marvel universe. But the fact that like we're getting a lot of the younger representation where we don't have a 35-year-old actor who's taking on the mantle of Captain America or Iron Man or anything like that, or an extremely well-established character. It's the same thing with America Chavez. As much as I fucking hate
her, yeah.
Chavez, but I will respect the fact that the MCU is finally starting to put her in mainstream media. Cool. Great. That is amazing. Because the target demographic for comic books when they first released was, to like the like 7 to 13-year-olds anyway. Mm-hmm. It wasn't meant for people.
It wasn't meant for adults.
It wasn't meant.
And we were just having that conversation last week about the evolution of stories and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. But it happens. And it is the natural evolution of like cinema, of, storytelling and stuff like that, because things will get stagnant. Things are going to get boring. Sure. But, we're starting to like come into the grips that, we're starting to get representation in certain aspects with certain things. And you know what? I get it. I get why, like, and I was the same way for a little bit. I've kind of like eased off a little bit with the whole Miss Marvel thing. I'm glad that it's not Captain Marvel or anything like that. because you
Might
know
as well.
the whole DC.
She just hasn't gotten that rank, I guess.
It doesn't matter. I mean, they'll never call her that because of fucking DC or Shazam and shit like that, and Captain Marvel, but whatever. The fact is that they're giving Kamala Khan, a young actress, a chance to be in the MCU. Somebody who is younger than Tom Holland, a chance. And you know what? Cool. That is great. You know what? You're taking a chance. You are giving young actors their way into the industry and giving them a big role to wet their feet with. And that's amazing. And they're doing it in a story that isn't super maniacal or super difficult, that should be like, oh man, you're in a super intense fucking Tom Hanks movie where you gotta act your fucking soul out.
Yeah, they're putting our Brie Larson in. That's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a horrible actor to act against.
Yeah.
Not like some of Big Chops.
just
I
Brie
mean,
Larson. It's Envy Adams, bro. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's fine. She was in Scott Pilgrim, 21 Jump Street.
yeah, just chill stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things like I don't know enough about Kamala Khan other than she's Muslim. She was part of the Young Avengers, I'm guessing.
Yes, she
Or
was part of the
something
Young
like that.
Avengers. She was also she's still in the New Avengers, if I remember correctly.
Other than that, I really don't know anything about her character except that she stretches and that they've kind of like photoshopped her into different events because she really has no like stake in any big arc in the stories.
No, she really doesn't. And neither do, I mean, if I'm going to be completely honest, neither do like 90% of the young Avengers, New Avengers.
Oh, I mean, I won't say that. Empire was a big event, and Wiccan and Hulkling were a big part of it.
Yeah, because they're married.
Yeah, and then the Secret Agent Hulkling was a really big part of it.
Yeah, but that's why I said like 90%. You know,
so like I mean, I can off the top of my head,
because I mean, you're not going to see any big arc with Sam Alexander in it.
Sam Alexander.
Exactly. No one knows who Sam Alexander is. And I love Sam Alexander because he's the new Nova.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But like it's like I was saying, like America Chavez, I know you don't like her, and there's parts of me that don't like her because of what they've done with her story and her character. I felt that it had an opportunity to do some really good stuff.
Like, like I've gone over her story like 100 times, and it's cool for what it is, but man, there is just no depth behind it.
Yeah, there's no depth to it.
Yeah, for me, there's nothing behind it where I'm like, I'm gonna read this bitch for the next 20 years.
Yep.
Nope.
But the thing is like her power sets are amazing.
Yeah, dude, her power sets are cool.
Yeah, her power sets are amazing. Her character design is pretty cool, being that even though her name is America Chavez, she represents the Puerto Rican culture. So her costume does have more of a Puerto Rican flair to it. And I like it. I love her costume through and through. I've always loved her design. But like, I can't imagine any. I mean, arcs wise, like she was in. I mean, she's done a lot of stuff, Captain Marvel, but Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel, like, I don't know what she's done arc wise, other than them fighting. See, like that wasn't even a thing either. I think I've only seen her fight like the Mole Man, which was a Fantastic Four villain. Like, who are her villains? MODOK?
And even then, I don't consider him a Kamala Khan like villain.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm talking about.
Like, that's a Hulk villain who just happens, I guess, to be at odds with Kamala Khan.
Yes, you know what I mean? Like, I can't really, like, off the top of my head, I cannot. Yeah, exactly. I can't figure out a story. And you know what's sad?
Well, that's the thing. She doesn't really have a rogues gallery yet. Like, she hasn't been. I'm not going to say established enough, and then I think that's.
Yeah, I was going to say she's been established for a while.
Yeah, no, I was about to say that's not correct, but she hasn't been given enough attention. to have a rogues gallery yet, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. Because I know that they put her front and center in the Marvel Avengers game.
Oh yeah,
That was a big jump because Marvel sucks at making video games.
Well, yeah, and this game wasn't the best, but you know, dude, I should re-download it. I know I've been saying that for like 2 months now, but
I know that they kind of put her front and center in it, and a lot of people were like, "Cool," I guess. Like not a lot of people were like super excited about it.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was like, "Cool." I mean, I know who she is, but
so like that's the only thing that I'm kind of worried about for her film that's coming up. The pictures look great. Her costume looks cool. Looks comic accurate, but I just don't know what they're gonna do with her. Like you know what? The only comic book that comes to mind, and it sounds really weird, is based off of literally the only thing I can remember about her comic books wise is from the animated cartoons where she's fighting a giant frog. Like,
dude, what's the comic book? Sorry, what's the TV show that she's in? I know that like
the New Avengers.
Is it
the Young Avengers or something like that? Oh, Rising.
Yeah, Avengers Rising or some shit like that.
Yeah, they have that, and there's some that's called like Secret War Rising. It's her and Squirrel
I know
Girl.
that like Sam Alexander is in it. Miles Morales is also.
Oh no, that's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Is it?
That's Spider-Man, but she's not a part of that. That's White Tiger, Power Man, Luke Cage, Nova, Sam Alexander, and something else, someone else, Iron Fist. But she's not in that one. If the one that if I know it's the one you're talking about, it should be called Marvel's Rising. That one's with Chloe Bennett is actually the voice of Daisy in that one, which is the chick from S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is so cool.
She's Captain Marvel's Assemble. Yeah, so Avengers Assemble and Superhero Adventures. Yeah. Those are the shows that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
That's what it was. My bad.
Sorry about that.
But yes, because I know that Miles Morales is also in those shows, and so is Sam Alexander. Like they're very prominent in those shows. Because it's geared to a younger audience. It's not like you should watch this because you know these are the guys who like
well, you know what? Maybe that's what it is, man.
The next 50 years.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe those characters right now are popular amongst the younger youth or whatnot.
They're really young.
And maybe I'm in this situation already that I'm at a part of my life where I'm like, those aren't my heroes. You know what I mean?
It very well could be.
It could probably be that.
And you know what? Like it sucks because like you and I know that it very well could be that, because you know you and I have said the same thing. You know that like, you know, bro, like we get it. We've grown up with X, Y, and Z comic book characters, and I don't need new ones. I have plenty of the ones that I have. Just keep giving me that. You know,
yeah, because it's what we're comfortable with.
Yeah,
but yeah, okay. Well, I mean, that kind of brings me new hope, because maybe then I can kind of look excited to that, because, you know, at first I wasn't really excited about it. And I know that the story that they're going to be bringing Kamala Khan is going to be based on, called The Marvels. So it's probably going to be part 2 of Captain Marvel, but they're calling it The Marvels. And I think it's going to be because they're going to make it into a team, and it's going to be her, Kamala Khan, Monica Rambeau, and Blue fucking Marvel. That's still my fucking call, dude.
You just want Blue Marvel, man.
I mean, he would be perfect if they called it the Marvels and it was a team of Marvels,
right?
I mean, it would literally, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, because really they could literally take.
Even if I wanted to be like, bro, you're just conspiracy theory. No, I mean, it makes sense. For me, I just want him introduced correctly. Just
with the way they did Isaiah Bradley, I don't see it going wrong. Because the government would already have had the opportunity to do something like that, but they could have done it the way that they did it for Blue Marvel, which was a lot more nicer than how they treated Isaiah Bradley. Like, I mean, Isaiah Bradley's character, man, they
found out that he was black, and they were like, "Hey, man, you can't be a hero no more."
Yeah, we'll pay you money and we'll take care of you, but you just can't be a superhero no more. Like, you say the president, man, that was really cool.
Here's the Medal of Honor because you know you're black and
because you're black.
And he's like, oh, "Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go destroy the moon right now with this thing."
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeet.
Yeah, it would be really cool if that's how they introduced him in there, because of course Monica Rambeau is going to be a very heavy hitter in that film. I can
Oh,
guarantee it
yeah.
because Carol Danvers got a lot to answer, and it just so happens that Captain Marvel's little rays aren't going to do shit to Monica Rambeau because they're based on energy, and Monica Rambeau's power is that she can absorb energy and take that shit and whisk it anywhere else in the world that she don't want it to be. So literally, the only thing that Captain Marvel would have on there if they come to blows is strength, but that's if she can hit her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean she can phase in and out.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I'm super excited, and Brie Larson's Captain Marvel has a lot to answer for not being there for her mother. She has a lot to answer for because she chose to stay off Earth.
Yeah, for what, 20 years, 25 years?
Yeah, 20, 30 years. Yeah, 20 years because
it happened in
she left
in 95.
Yeah, because she left before Infinity War, right?
Yeah, and it's like 2020 when she comes back. So like 25 years or something.
Because the page happens on Infinity War and that calls her back. Right? The Nick Fury pager.
Yeah.
Yeah, right at the end of Infinity War. That's what calls her back to Earth.
Yeah.
So, and in that little time that she came back, she hooked up with Rhodey.
Was good,
my boy. And then everybody's all, and I was getting messages and they're like, oh man, I really hope that we could see the relationship between the Falcon and Jane Foster. And I was like, yeah, because in the comic books, Lady Thor and Falcon date.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, people were hitting me up earlier, and I was like, guys, I don't know if that's what we want. Yeah, because it's already going to be a heartfelt story. If they're following comic accurately, Natalie Portman as Jane Foster is going to be sad as fuck. Like, the story is going to be sad. Because overall, the arcing story where the comic book messed up, and I guarantee they'll probably fix it in the movie, because Natalie Portman's only going to come back for a little bit. Like, her as an actress, I don't think she's going to want to do this for too long. Natalie Portman is already like, she's already complained about acting, like in so many ways. So like, I think that they're going to do the gospel of Jane Foster correctly. At the very end, not of this story, I think they're going to do a trilogy of it. She will give her life to save like the rest of Asgard or whatever. And she will die from the cancer, right? I think that's what's going to happen. And that will be a great story to see her become like the image of what the Valkyries are supposed to be, right? The ones that take the warriors to Valhalla. You know what I mean? Or just in genre. I think they'll do her correctly, which is what I'm really hoping Marvel does. What I don't want them to do is I don't want them to make her a Valkyrie like the way they did in the comic. That's so stupid. But we'll see what's up, man. Really, really far off subject, but as you can tell, I'm super crazy about wanting to see Thor, Jane Foster's story.
Well, I mean, Jane Foster Thor was really important to you, and I get it.
That's great. I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those where it's kind of just like I don't have any upcoming characters that are coming out where I'm like, if they don't do this correctly, I'm disowning the MCU. Well,
I think there's just like, I mean, you're a really big fan of Nova, right?
Yeah, but
so when they brought out the story of the Annihilus wave, like, how did that feel for you for Nova?
Oh, dude, it was heartbreaking.
But it was like one of the most amazing stories ever, right?
Yeah,
So if they were to bring out Nova, that would possibly
they immediately did that story, then I'd be like, well, you're one-offing him. Fucking thanks.
Yeah, because that's the most amazing story to him, right?
Well, it's not just his most amazing story. It's just one where he dies. And I don't want to see that one. Mm-hmm. I can see one where he fights Annihilus, or how about where in War of Kings? Okay. He's prominent in War of Kings, dude. I mean, I don't necessarily have to have him in Annihilation Wave.
Yeah. I like Annihilation Wave for what the ending becomes, but that, of course, you need Thanos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and Thanos is kind of out of the picture for a bit.
Yeah, for a minute. You know, I personally think Kang is probably going to be the new big bad.
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah,
And I think Kang is going to be coming in to bring Thanos back.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think
I
because
can see
originally
that.
when they brought in Kang for a lot of the younger stories,
The thing
Kang.
is, and this is something that like we don't really take into account a whole lot until the actors really kind of like put their foot down about it. But we always think of our actors just like comic book characters, that they're going to be just like that forever.
No.
You know, but man, these motherfuckers age, dude, and I'm not entirely sure how many more times James Brolin wants to put on a heavy fucking suit for Thanos.
Oh yeah, I mean, technology's changing right now so much that
he very well may not have to.
yeah,
But still, you know, like to be in a single role for, I mean, let's say the next 15 years or something like that. And I'm highballing.
that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Edgar put, they need to make a Nightcrawler standalone movie. I mean, that would be really cool. There's just not a lot about him like that. I mean, comic book wise, there is.
Yeah, they need to establish their
stories first,
like the mutants into the MCU first, and have a really good foothold in it.
Yeah,
either that or they're making one of his movies, because now they're putting together the team and they do like a standalone with him. But just having one as a willy-nilly is really hard.
Yeah, that'd be really,
you know, like a lot of people are like, oh man, we should have fucking America Chavez standalone movie. No, you shouldn't. No,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't even agree to that. And I like her.
No,
you know what I mean.
You know, and let me tell you why. Because you have no grounding for her. Oh, dude, but she does this. So, where does she fit in with what they've been doing so far?
I wouldn't necessarily say the X-Men's dead.
Yeah, no, not
for what it's worth right now in the cinematic world. The X-Men haven't even been born. From what Fox did, yeah, that franchise is dead.
Oh yeah,
but they killed that franchise a long time ago. But I feel like it hasn't even been done yet. You see, like that's what it is. Kyle kind of hit it right on the button too, man. Dude, I think there is so much on the plate that Marvel can do exploring the world of the mutants.
I agree.
There are so many characters, dude, that they can make films out of. Like a Colossus movie, or just a Juggernaut movie by itself. Like, what other characters? The Cyclops. I mean, Cyclops is pretty much just down the center, but like an X-Men movie you can make, but each individual character can possibly almost get their own stories. Like, dude, straight up, I know everybody wants to see a Gambit story.
Well, I mean, dude, it was
in the talks.
No, I mean, that wasn't just in the talks. It was like confirmed.
Yeah, Channing Tatum, right?
Yeah, and then I think it was either Paramount or Fox that was just like, we're moving forward, and then it lost steam, and then they were like, we're shelving it indefinitely. Sorry.
Yeah. Man, that's super fucking crazy. But yeah, I do remember that, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that right there, boy. Kyle, my dude.
Team Warpath.
I'm always gonna be Team Warpath, but seriously,
he's a fucking gangster, dude.
Dude, I always like Strong Man or Strong Guy. Okay, Strong Guy is so cool looking. I think I told you about that before. Yeah, I love that guy. He just looks so cool. He's like super big with a little tiny head. Like it's interesting stuff, man. But yeah, I was, you know, at first, it's like I said, I was blown away by the idea of them doing a Native American Captain America, and then I really thought about it, and I was disappointed. But this is coming off of my just basic opinion. I have not read the comic, so I cannot tell you if it's good or bad.
You know, speaking
so
of Marvel,
I'll reserve my opinion of the story until I get my opportunity to watch it and read it. I don't want to shit on it before I give it a chance, which I hope no one does. But never be afraid to voice your opinion if you disagree with the initial reaction, right? So that's literally what it is I disagree with the initial reaction because I myself am tired of gender swapping or role swapping characters with minorities instead of creating fun, original stories, fun, original characters of stories. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, maybe it's just what it is, and maybe the 616, maybe it has too many characters to work with now, that they need to just start an entire new comic line. Like the entire idea of them having Marvel 616, maybe they need to make a comic book company called Excelsior Inc. and start a whole new genre of heroes. Not
Maybe.
based on Marvel, but through the Marvel umbrella. Like just a different branch and make a whole new comic.
I mean, they did the same thing with Image. You know?
Image, yeah, you remember that? Even the Top Cow, remember Top
Yeah.
Cow back in the day?
Mhm.
Yeah, and I mean they've done it before, and Marvel,
And
the
now
cinematic universe,
and
and Disney,
now Valiant or something like that.
yeah, Valiant.
Comics with Bloodspot or whatever the
Mhm.
fuck his name is.
Yo, as a matter of fact, yeah, I'll talk to you about that after the show. But did you see that Jason David Frank is out there with Bat in the Sun filming the White Dragon Lord?
Yeah, man, he's been
They're
doing that
doing
for
the
a
filming
minute.
right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing that for a minute.
Yeah, well, he just left over there to LA like last week to start filming with Bat in the Sun for it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so
I know that they've
am,
already gotten their funding.
Yeah.
I've already.
I'm really excited for that, man.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm really excited. There's been some
You know what,
releases, some
dude?
photos, and it looks good. So
But you know, man, speaking of Marvel, man, Marvel's actually in a little bit of trouble right now for anyone who like reads comic book news. Well, not necessarily Marvel, but the MCU, right? And so the MCU is currently being sued by these two brothers.
oh, the company,
Yeah.
the Iron Man.
Yeah, about the Iron Man.
Yeah,
thing.
I remember, dude. That's been going on for a while.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but right now it's
this is
just
a
picked
new
up more steam.
Yeah. Because of the Iron Man costume. And you know what? I saw the drawings, I saw the artwork, and I'm like, dude, I gotta find these comics. These look
They look really
nice.
good.
These
They look real Man of War, dude.
Yeah.
They look real Man of War. It looks really good, man.
Yeah, and I love it, dude.
Mhm.
Love it. I'm all about it.
So, like, if I'm not mistaken, the company's called like Rake or Rieka.
No, so the comic itself is called Radix.
Radix.
R-A-D.
There you go.
Yeah, Radix. This is coming from Horizon Comics. I think Horizon Comics actually falls under Image.
Mhm.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but you should be able to find them on Image Comics. And so I want to get these, dude. These look nice. And yeah, man, you know, they're in a little bit of trouble right now. That there's been blatant plagiarism on the MCU.
Straight plagiarism.
You know, and as a matter of fact, MIT got a $20 million grant from the government to do exo armor in that style because they had used the artwork from Radix. And MIT, but MIT came out with a formal apology and a statement.
Yes, they apologized openly.
And they were like, hey, I want to let you know that we did use your artwork. That wasn't cool. I'm sorry. We did get this. And the two brothers decided not to move forward with a lawsuit and say, you know what, hey man, you gave us an apology. That's good enough. I'm glad that you guys got your grant, you know, off of our design, and there you go. And you know, they moved forward with it, right? But the fact that
Marvel did it.
Yeah, the MCU hasn't, and like their lawyers are fucking, you know, Johnny Cochran or something like that. They're like, no. So
yeah, I know that lawsuit's been going on for a while, and a big shout out for the brothers for attacking such a huge T-Rex.
Yeah,
as Marvel and with their Disney money, but I really hope that they get their worth out of it because you know, when you look at the source material, it's almost spot identical, man.
Oh, it really is.
It literally spot identical, and it's sad when, you know, they see it a lot with YouTubers and all this other stuff where small content creators get overlapped by bigger content creators and they steal their things, and then there's a big thing. But with all the popularity of the bigger ones, they get overlapped really hard. So I really hope that they get you know, they get their work out of it. You know what I mean? I hope they get the recognition because of their hard work and creating something that looks super cool, man. Super Appleseed, dude.
Yeah, man. But it looks good though, like
Yeah.
real good. I'm all about it.
Last part of the conversation for today goes off of the new series that came out on Netflix.
Netflix.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to be asking Trigger some stuff about it and anybody else in the comments that has checked it out. Based on a graphic novel, which is the same company that came from Invincible, the
Yes,
same
Invincible.
publishing house. We are talking about Jupiter Legacy. So, Triggs, my dude, our fellow people in the comments, have you had the opportunity to see any episodes from Jupiter's Legacy yet?
I have. Yes, I am on the last episode of the season.
So how have you how's it been coming along? First off, what do you like? What don't you like?
I'm gonna go with my cons first. All right, I'm gonna give you all the veggies. Then I'm gonna give you all my pros.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. My cons are the wire acting. It is just complete wire act.
Wire acting, like the stunt work. Stunt work.
So
Okay.
Perfect example, right? You see Mortal Kombat and you see their wire fu and stuff like that, and it's very fluid, but you can tell that it's wire acting. It's very, obviously a person can't jump or be thrown like that. With this, it's the person is thrown, but there's like, it's like the person is just moving like this.
There's like a weird float.
Yeah, they're floating through.
Yeah.
There's no like kicking of the legs or anything like that. It's just,
oh man, that's got to be really weird.
And it's irksome. That's all I'm gonna say. It's irksome. It irks me. You know
what? That kind of sounds like? It's like the animated superheroes movies.
Yeah.
Like when someone gets hit and they're flying so fast, but the body just stays very stiff.
Yeah.
Like that's what it kind of would remember, but the people are probably really slow.
Yeah, but like they are. But they're like, and it's not like pow, and then you see them and it's like a shot of them like moving really fast, and then that it's like, no, you're seeing the punch to the wall and they're like, and I'm like,
Kyle brings in that I love that Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style wire acting.
Exactly,
the wire
dude, I mean, this beautiful, it's fluid. There was fluid. It's nice. It's very, very pleasurable to look at.
I have a question about that actually. So do you think it's because of the fact that were the shots done, like, did it look like it was in studio? Or was it like CG where the guy's hanging and CG, like they're just making a background fly past him? Like, did it look like he was moving in an actual like space?
No, yeah, it looked like he was moving in an actual space.
Oh, okay. So it looked less CG-ish.
Yeah, but it was just ugly.
Just didn't apply right.
Yeah, no, it's just ugly to me. And some of the fight scenes, okay, and this is me just being a really, really big stickler in a critic, right? The martial arts, like fighting, like no shit. There is a fight at the very, very end of the first episode, and there is a character who punches like 10 times and is like,
ooh.
That's the action. That is the actual action that happens. And I was like, this can't be real.
Do you feel like it might have been the budget?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
So the thing that this suffers from is it looks like it's a lower budget.
Yes. Like I think the CG is a little bit undercut. I think, and this might just be me spoiled from, like the MCU and stuff like that. And but if this is a Netflix production, which it is, you are the biggest streaming service in the world.
Yeah, you should be doing better.
Yeah, you gave more CG and wire fu to Bleach than you did this. That is saying something. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. And you know what? Like, for what it's worth, I'm probably gonna get shit on for this, but I kind of dug the Bleach film.
I did too.
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I thought it was fun.
I mean, it wasn't manga accurate, not entirely.
But it was fun though.
But it was fun. Yeah.
The cast was good. I know that it felt a little rushed at the end.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, but I did like the build up to knowing that there was a possibility of a part 2.
Yeah, I just
I
don't
like
like
that.
that.
They always leave it ambiguously open, which is the same thing I thought about Death Note. Like a lot of people shit on the American version of Death Note, but I tell people all the time, Death Note itself as a manga is like super like Mary Sue of everything. Like a 15-year-old helping the police department solve crimes because he's the genius, but then his dad's the police chief and he's dating the hottest chick in the world. Happens to
Yeah.
find this thing that can kill people's, by writing their name. And I was like, I'm gonna eat this bag of chips and fucking write people's names. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you can only do so much with this shit. Like, there's a lot of weirdness to it, but even though people didn't like it, I liked the rawness of the guy that portrayed Light Yagami. Like the screaming scene when he meets fucking Ryuk for the first time.
Oh yeah.
I laughed my fucking ass off. But then again, what would we initially think if we saw something like that in real life? Like, you know what I mean?
On drugs.
I'd
I would
freak
be
the
like,
fuck out, dude.
I'm clearly on drugs.
Yeah, dude, I would freak the fuck out too. I just think like the scream, like the way he screams and all that stuff, like it was so funny. I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. I didn't like what they did with the girlfriend. Remember?
Yeah.
Because she played such a huge role in the manga. I felt she was very underused. But holy fuck, I like what they did with the dad at the end. Do you know what I'm talking about? In the Death Note movie? Like, I like that he came out and told his dad that he was K.
Yeah.
And the dad's like, what the fuck? Like, the dad dies in such a fucking shit way in the manga. I hated it. It made me hurt so bad that he killed his father or whatever the fuck. But I like that in this one, they're making it to where he let his dad in on it. Now his dad's going to have that turmoil of knowing that his son is murdering people and he's a cop. And oh, dude, it's just so good. It's an interesting telling. But the director of the film already said that he understands and he heard the fans and he's guaranteeing part 2 is going to be more manga accurate, which I'm a little disappointed.
We will see.
Yeah, but boy, dude, the guy that played L, which is the guy who plays Yasuke.
Yeah,
he did that well, dude. That ending scene when he pulls the gun out and does, oh my god, dude, I felt that so good because L in the other one, you never really feel him. Like he's just always eating snacks and being silly. Like you never feel that emotional connection to his butler and all this other stuff. I'm really excited for part 2 of Death Note, but that's way off subject. Off subject. I'm really sorry. Going back. So Jupiter's Legacy, first reactions. So you got to see how many episodes?
7.
And how many are there? 8?
8. Yes, there are 8.
And so far your cons are
so
the action sequences are a little not par.
They're very lackluster.
Okay, lackluster on this.
Yeah.
How's the story?
Story is beautiful. So the story kind of pulls a bit of like a Tarantino. And the reason I say that is because it jumps between 2 timelines. So I'm going to give you the overall basis of what the comic is about. I'm not giving any spoilers. I'm just saying this is what the basis of the story is. Excellent. So the basis of the story is that in 1929, the United States has the Great Depression, right? You know, Black Monday, Wall Street crashes, and 2 brothers, Sheldon and Walter Sampson, they are co-owners with their father in Samson Steel. They're very rich, and the Great Depression happens and they lose everything, right? A lot of people lose everything. Well, their father kills himself, and it comes out that their father was actually not a very good person. This drives the Sheldon character very, very upset, and he has a mental breakdown and has visions of an island. Well, throughout this, he ends up gathering 5 other people, Walter being one of them, and they find this island and they all get powers.
Okay.
Yeah, they get powers. And they move forward as basically, like kind of like the Justice League, except everybody is Superman, kind of.
Oh, so
Um,
okay, so that was the thing that I had a question. Like, I did see that there was a couple of people with different power sets, but does the majority of them kind of like have the same kind of power abilities?
yes, they're
Okay.
they're all really strong, they're all really fast, and they're all really durable.
Wow.
It's just their minute detail about them. Like Sheldon Sampson, the Utopian, right? He is the leader of the I forgot, it was the the Union of America or some shit like that. Anyway, um he can shoot laser beams, right? He is basically Superman without the kryptonite.
Okay.
All right. You can hear very well, super fast, all that stuff. His wife, Lady Liberty, she is a human lie detector. She can detect the pheromones in people and can tell when you're lying. His brother, Walter Sampson, is a very, very powerful telepath and psychic. Oh, and Sheldon also has like base level telekinesis. So like if you wanted to take you into space, he can actually put you like in a little telekinetic bubble and take you to space.
Nice.
Yeah, gangster. But the Jupiter's Legacy focuses more on the second generation of the kids. So the two kids of Sheldon and Grace Sampson, this is Lady Liberty and the Utopian, is Brandon and Chloe Sampson. This is kind of like where everything picks up. Chloe is a huge drug addict and is a supermodel and wants nothing to do with Hero Society.
Oh,
Nothing.
jeez.
Completely like disillusioned and does not want anything to do with it. Brandon, on the other hand, in the show at least, is trying to take up the mantle of the Utopian. He's called the Paragon, and he's trying to fall in line with his father's very, very rigid ideals of what a hero should be. Like, no killing, no exceptions, don't do it. Right? You lock them up, you put them away, but that's it. Even though um even though they're bad guys, they're human too, and we don't take human lives. Uh Things like that, but that's also kind of like what creates this huge rift in the comic books, is that everyone's trying to fall in line with Sheldon's ideals of what a person should be, of what America should be, and things like that. And he's stuck in his old ways of the 20s where everything was black and white, good and evil.
Okay.
Now in current society, there's many shades of gray. Sometimes a person's got to get their hands dirty. Sometimes a person has to do something outside of their comfort zone
Yeah, of
to
course.
protect, and that's really where this show comes in, is that the second generation in some ways is a letdown because they're trying to fall in line with the ideals of a very, very long forgotten just way of thinking.
Legacy.
It's an outdated way of thinking. And that's, like I said, that's basically where this is coming in. There's a lot more to it. It's very beautiful. It's a very, very beautiful story.
Nice.
It goes between the early 1930s and late 1920s to like current 2021, and switches between those a bunch. So you get to see the origin of Sheldon Sampson, and you also get to see the journey of Brandon Sampson.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to invincible, how violent is this?
1 to invent. Ooh, dude, good question. Good question. Okay. I'm not spoiling anything because I'm not saying anything about how this happens, but there is a fight at the end of episode 1 and I want to say that's probably the most goriest fight there is. And something happens, and the bad guy holds somebody's head and brings it in front of them and blasts them. In the process, it kills 3 people. That person, the person behind them, and the person right next to them.
Okay.
The person that was directly in front of them that was being held, all that's left was their head.
So there is like a gore
Aspect to it,
aspect to it.
But
is it
even then it's not invincible like gory. Not in my opinion. Fuck no. Bless you.
Bless you, Audrey.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, man. Well, that's kind of really exciting to look forward to. I am going to.
There's a violence aspect. There is a definite violence aspect because, like, this past episode, dude, and it upset me like in a personal level because, like, something bad happens to a very good person that did not need to happen, and like the person who's like who you're looking at, dude, their guts are hanging out, like their literal intestines are like hanging out. And like, but like that's it. Like you're only getting like little spats of it. You don't get to see the actual action happen.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's cool. I mean, we talked about this last week. We are talking about the psychology of comic books on where they're coming to with the evolution of it, and if the violence is such a necessity nowadays that you can't have a good show without it. I was kind of hoping that Netflix was going to keep it PG-13 because of the way that it looked originally. It kind of had a really like the way the suits look and the way the shots look. It kind of reminded me of a very matured version of Sky High.
Yes, I can definitely see that.
So in my heart, deep down inside, I was kind of hoping for like a PG-13 film because, like I said last week, like I like the idea of having mature comics, but I feel like it loses its superhero hope, like its fantasy to it.
I get
or
it.
like that innocence nature to comics.
Yeah, I get it. And like I said, not at all to rehash what, you and I said yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week, because I mean, dude, we talked about that for like 45 minutes. But it's just the natural evolution of storytelling, natural evolution of cinema. Some people are going to, and I get it. Some people are going to have this idea that they should adhere to a certain way of storytelling when it comes to their comic books. And I get it. Heroes should never take a life, but they do.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good call. Guys, it looks like we're about to come to an end to the show. It is 10:44. We've hit about an hour and a half. Well, actually, about an hour 45.
Yeah.
What you guys think about today's show? How do you guys feel about what Marvel's doing with the Captain America 80th anniversary? How do you feel about them doing a bunch of different variations of people who are inspired by Captain America? Like I said before, I have my opinion, and I don't want that to infringe on anybody else's way of thinking. In fact, I would love to hear your point of view on it. Just like, of course, we've always said before, we love our comics, we love our characters, we love Marvel and DC for what it is they do, what they've done for us as children, and even now. And I will die on this rock by saying, what a time to be alive for comic book lovers, because it's now our time to shine, where comics are finally getting their proper representation in life when it comes to the movie making quality of what's coming out. They are breaking history, and all of the stuff our parents told us when we were kids, reading comic books is stupid, that no one reads these things. Now they are the greatest making film adaptions and film history making moments in life right now. I mean, dude, when I was a kid, my parents would be like, don't waste your money on that stuff. Don't waste your time. My English teachers, don't be reading comics, read real books. And right now we have, Infinity, Endgame, breaking film history on what they've done. How do you feel the evolution of comics and evolution of storytelling is coming along? Do you feel like it's a good or bad thing with the idea of them becoming more violent? Are you excited for the release of newer stories, just like the way Jupiter Legacy is coming out? Even the idea of films coming out right now. I would be really excited to see a retelling of the Resident Evil story using the newer storylines that they're going with. Because right now, Resident Evil looks, even for what it's worth, it looks amazing.
It looks so good.
I know, man. And even not to mention that,
dude, I'm gonna ask
gaming
my wife,
news,
dude,
Resident Evil just came out.
Dude, no shit. I'm gonna ask my wife, see if she'll buy it for me on Steam. Because I fucking want to play it, dude. It looks
Well,
good.
it had came out a little early. So if you're one of those guys that's you can't handle horror games and you want to cuddle up, hug a pillow and watch it, there are a bunch of YouTubers and streamers right now that have played the game. Some people have beat it. Some people have tied all of the cutscenes together. So if you're a wuss like I am and don't want to play the game because you're scared, you can watch the videos and snuggle up with your favorite All Might blanket or All Might plushie. I got my onesie, my All Might onesie.
Oh, dude,
my friend Christella got it for me.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna
love my onesie. My onesie is so cool. It's the Deku onesie from the beginning of the anime. I'm super excited. I love it. Guys, are you guys gonna watch Jupiter's Legacy? I myself am gonna watch it right now as soon as I'm off the show. I'm gonna go and binge the shit out of it. I'm gonna try also to watch Yasuke too. Did you get a chance to watch Without Remorse? Tom Clancy's Without Remorse.
No, man, I haven't. And you know what, dude? I'm actually as soon as this is done, I'm gonna try. I just saw the that they have the fuck, man. I can't use words right now. The trailer for the Tomorrow War on YouTube. I'm going to watch it.
Not only that, they did release a small little snippet trailer for Stranger Things 4.
I heard.
Yes, they did too.
I heard. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna.
But yeah, guys, thank you again for tuning in to all our extraordinary listeners. We appreciate you guys so much. Everybody that's in the comments, we appreciate you. Everybody watching on Twitch, thank you so much. Next time, hopefully we see you guys jump in the conversation with us. If you guys have any recommendations on what you guys want to hear about, if you have any heroes that you want to know about, let us know, guys. Hit us up. If you want to know what makes Moon Knight Moon Knight, if you want to know, hey, what do you think Sharon Carter's going to do? Hey, if you want to know Warpath's story, let us know and we'll get down and dirty and we'll tell you exactly who these characters are. If you have any questions in nerd news or any questions about anything nerdy, geeky, no matter what it is, hit us up and we'll let you know. IGN, it's still there, bro. If you need our help, we'll help you tell nerd news the right way. But for now, guys, we want to thank you again for tuning in on another awesome Friday night here with the Average Boys podcast. Triggs, thank you so much. You're awesome, brother. And
always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. I look forward to this.
If anybody, dude, let me know what's up. Everybody talking about Switches. Everybody talking about Pokemon Snap and stuff or what?
Dude, man, don't even get me fucking started, bro. Fucking Audrey got it last week and she was like, dude, don't talk to me. I'm Pokemon snapping. And I was like,
Pokemon Snap, dude. Awesome, man. Oh, well, the Rise update came up for Monster Hunter. It was pretty cool. But dudes, we will see you guys again next Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll see you all later.